production and commercialization of scientific knowledge, particularly in the realm of biomedicine, across Africa. This project, built on the Ethereum network, aspires to empower local individuals, universities, and research organizations by facilitating the transformation of their tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge. Actuate endeavors to create innovative products and services grounded in locally generated intellectual assets. Such products and services grounded on local knowledge are relevant, have fit and working capacity for solving local problems.
Introducing Actuate Crypto. Unveiling the key to unlocking Africa's hidden potential. Are you ready to embark on a journey that will transform the way we view knowledge, innovation, and healthcare in Africa? Actuate Crypto is about to rewrite the script and ignite a revolution. Stay tuned for a groundbreaking revelation that will leave you mesmerized, eager to be part of something truly extraordinary. The future of knowledge translation and healthcare empowerment is just a click away. Stay curious, stay excited, and get ready to actuate your wildest dreams. Introducing Actuate Blockchain. Unveiling the key to unlocking Africa's hidden potential. Are you ready to embark on a journey that will transform the way we view knowledge, innovation, and healthcare in Africa? Actuate Blockchain is about to rewrite the script and ignite a revolution. Stay tuned for a groundbreaking revelation that will leave you mesmerized, eager to be part of something truly extraordinary. The future of knowledge translation and healthcare empowerment is just a click away. Stay curious, stay excited, and get ready to actuate your wildest dreams. Imagine a world where untapped local wisdom transforms into global solutions. Picture a future where knowledge is not just power, but prosperity. Join a community that's shaping the destiny of global health and innovation. Are you ready to embark on this journey that will revolutionize the way you perceive knowledge? Introducing Actuate. The ERC20 token that's set to change the game in the world of blockchain is here to shatter boundaries and ignite your curiosity. Stay tuned as we reveal the secrets behind Actuate Blockchain and how it's empowering individuals, universities, and healthcare providers to rewrite the rules of knowledge, wealth, and wellness. The future of transformation begins here.
Liquidity is the linchpin of a cryptocurrency's success. But what does liquidity mean? In this video, we will cover importance of making Actuate liquid in relation
to the Actuate Science Technology, Engineering and Mathematics program, which is known as STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet, where we empower learners across African universities to transform their STEM knowledge into practical solutions for real-world challenges facing Africa. Our primary goal is to equip students with a framework for translating their knowledge into actionable solution, culture of innovation and problem solving within the African STEM community. Our objectives are clear. Provide learners with a structured approach to translating their STEM knowledge. Encourage innovation and critical thinking among STEM students. Incentivize learning through our Learn to Earn program, where students earn Actuate tokens. Promote the development of solutions that directly address Africa's unique challenges. The Learn to Earn program is a key component, rewarding students for their knowledge acquisition, retention, and application with Actuate tokens. These tokens serve as both an incentive and a means to their this faucet. We aim to see innovative solutions that tackle issues like energy, agriculture, health, and technology, all while nurturing a new generation of problem solvers. Join us in the Actuate STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet and be a part of the change. Transform your knowledge into real-world impact and contribute to a brighter future for Africa. Empower your potential. Innovate for Africa.
In this video, I'm going to give you 7 ways to start making your own fonts. Currently at the moment, making and selling
Engineering and Mathematics program, which is known as STEM Knowledge Translation Faucet, where we empower learners across African universities to transform their STEM knowledge into practical solutions for real-world challenges facing Africa. Our primary goal is to equip students with a framework for translating their STEM knowledge into actionable solutions. We believe in fostering a culture of innovation and problem-solving within the African STEM community. Our objectives are clear. Provide learners with a structured approach to translating their STEM knowledge. Encourage innovation and critical thinking among STEM students. Incentivize learning through our Learn to Earn program, where students earn Actuate tokens. Promote the development of solutions that directly address Africa's unique challenges. The Learn to Earn program is a key component, rewarding students for their knowledge.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Frida. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this Friday evening. This is Actuate STEM Knowledge Translation and Commercialization Learn to Earn session. And thank you so much for making time again this week. And so this week we're going to have a discussion on manufacturing stage in STEM knowledge translation and commercialization. And as we all know, last week we did we learned about prototyping stage and how it goes, the challenges, and how those small version of these STEM products or services or even interventions are being tested before now larger production goes on. And in today's session, we will learn about now how large production of products or even intervention and even services can be done. So today's session is all about manufacturing stage, and we have our topic master, Miss Priska, Ekagwere from Nigeria. She's our topic master today. So after her presenting, we will have to hear some comments from Dr. Macharia, our CEO. And then after that, we will have an interactive Q&A session. And you can always type your question in the chat box or raise the hand feature. And then after there, I will give summit announcement and progress a report. Then after there, we can now adjourn our meeting. So without taking much time, allow me to welcome Ms. Priska Ekagwere to take us through the session. So Ms. Priska, over to you. Ms. Priska, I hope you can unmute yourself.
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Can I share my screen? I don't know if that's possible.
Yes, go on.
Maybe the host can make that possible.
So Miss Miss Prika, how's it going? Augustine,
I think,
Augustine,
Doc,
can you hear me?
yes, Doc. I
Yeah.
think Miss Priska is trying to share her screen. I don't know if it will be possible.
Yeah, it is possible. Frida, could you assist Miss Priska to share her screen? See, I think you have to make her
What she
host.
can do is
Mm.
No, I
there's
don't have
the
to
green
make her host.
button on her laptop for sharing. Then she can tap on share after Frida makes her the co-host or whichever way. But you can also share without being the co-host, I guess. And then she should, if it's a presentation like a PowerPoint, she should share the entire screen so that we are able to see what she's presenting.
You're saying that oh, she doesn't have, you don't have to make her co-host, but she would have to accept to share screen, I think, on house. Zoom, they have created all these hoops that you have to jump through. So Priska, tell us how's it going? Okay.
She just has to go and click share screen. She doesn't have to ask permissions or become a co-host.
Click on share screen.
Yeah, anyone can share the screen, so she can go ahead and share.
There's a button there on the Zoom saying share screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Priska, if you can hear me, tell us the progress maybe. If
She's
it's not possible, maybe you can just go on and
having
present, and then
technical
maybe
issues.
later you can share the article, then we'll publish. No problem. You can just go on and present.
Okay, sorry, I can't see an option to share my screen from here. If it's possible,
She's not audible. You need to increase volume. You're far away. Could you come closer to the microphone?
okay, is it better now?
Oh, yes, that's better.
So if she Miss Frida can help me share it, but I can't see an option to share it from here.
We can't hear you well, Priska. Could you get closer to the microphone?
Miss Priska, hello. I think you're so far away from the mic. Maybe
Maybe if she's using earphones, she can get rid of them.
Okay.
hello, Miss Priska.
Is the audio better now?
Yeah, I think
What's
is it the
happening, sir?
network? Just try.
I think it's the network. Serious network issues. Very serious network problem there.
It's so glitchy. We can't hear you, Miss Priska. Maybe
She can join with the phone. I think what's the issue is maybe the bandwidth on the networks, very low bandwidth.
Oh, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Oh, it's showing full here. But is my audio okay now?
Yes, it's coming, but it has some interruptions. Keep going, keep talking.
All right. Okay, so I'd have loved to share my screen, but since I can't, I don't know how understandable this would be. Because I've already designed some slides that I want to share today. So the topic is manufacturing stage of phase in STEM knowledge translation and commercialization. To start with, I would like to define, or I'd like to tell you the full meaning of STEM. which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And these are the fields that drive innovation. We want to have any technological advancement. Let's think of STEM as a recipe that can help us create new products, solve complex problems, and improve our everyday lives. So, science, first of all, is just all about understanding the world through experiments and observations. Just like those of us who like to watch movies, let's say being a detective in the movie, while technology is the practical application of science. That is how we use our scientific knowledge to create tools, devices, and systems. While engineering involves designing and building solutions, engineers are also known as the architects of the modern world. They construct everything from hardware to software. And mathematics is the language of the science, technology, and engineering. It helps engineers, scientists, and those who are into technology to make sense out of the data they create, to use it to solve problems. So now, from the topic, manufacturing stage. What's manufacturing? Manufacturing is the process of turning raw materials or components into finished products. For example, let's say we have a company where things are built. It could be anything from computers to devices or any other thing. Now, we can say we are manufacturing when we are talking about the process in which that product is put together from the start to the finish. We are talking about a car now, building a car, installing the engine. Each step is known as the manufacturing process. Now, while the stage phase refers to the different steps, the steps or levels that we take to get to the finish point. Manufacturing can happen all at once. It has to follow a particular step or sequence, and that's known as stages or phases. Then we have another keyword in the topic, which is knowledge translation. This is a fancy way of saying how can we take scientific discoveries and turn them into real world applications, like translating a foreign language into our native language. And this process ensures that scientific research are shared widely and used to solve real world problems, just like bridging the gap in our everyday life. And the final keyword in our topic is commercialization. And this involves bringing a new product or service to the market. Just like before you can see what to buy in a store or something, different stages have been, it has undergone different stages from the manufacturing to where you're now seeing it, where you can buy. Now, commercialization involves different steps. We have the idea development stage, that is coming up with a new concept or an idea or a solution. And then we have prototyping, making sure that that idea works. Creating a working model of that idea we have already. Then we have testing, making sure that everything works as planned, if there are safety standards required, making sure it follows through. We also have marketing. This is where the idea or the product is being promoted so that people can know about it. Then we have sales, the final step, which is actually selling the product to customers or consumers. Just like your smartphone, before it reaches that point at which you order it, it has gone through steps from the manufacturing to the commercialization stage. Now, I will talk about manufacturing stage or phase and STEM knowledge translation and commercialization. We're talking about how scientific ideas are turned into real products that can be manufactured and sold. Now, first, STEM knowledge. the scientists or engineers discover and develop the new technology. Then the knowledge translation, the discoveries are turned into practical applications. Then we have the manufacturing stage. The practical applications are produced in large quantities, making sure that there's efficiency and good quality. And then the final stage, commercialization, where the products are brought to the market for the benefit of the society. Now, let's say someone invents a new type of solar panel that's super efficient. We can say the STEM knowledge. And when the scientists discover a new material that captures more sunlight than the previously used solar panel material, then we can say the knowledge translation phase is where engineers now use this material to design the solar panel. That's a new solar panel. And then we can say the manufacturing stage is now where factories produce the solar panel using the new material found, and making sure that they meet all quality standards. And then the commercialization phase is where the solar panels are now marketed and sold to the homeowners and businesses who now use them to generate clean energy. So that's what we're going to discuss about today. Now let's look at other ways. So sorry, I've been muted since. I hope you can still hear me.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to look at other ways in which we can go into detail for all the stages related to STEM translation. So for the manufacturing stage, that is the process of turning the raw materials to finished products. We have different steps. First, design and prototyping. Before a product is gets to the manufacturing stage, prototypes are created, designs are created, like drawing up a, like call it a mini, let's say you want to present something, a new idea to someone, and then you create like a presentation. You've not yet manufactured it, but then you're showing the person that okay, this is how this thing is going to be. You're going to go into details, telling the person how everything is going to be. If you want to, let's use a toy for example, you might draw it out, say okay, this is the hand, this is the head, or if it's a car toy, you say this is how the tires are going to be, and so on and so forth. While the engineers now build it to see how it works. Then we also have another step, sourcing materials. Here is where we're going to gather the necessary raw materials, like if it's plastic we're using, if it's iron. So we're going to gather all the materials that we're going to use, just like getting ingredients to cook. Then if you're talking about the phone, you say the different components like the screen, the battery, microchips from various suppliers. Then another step in manufacturing is called production and assembly. This is where the actual process takes place. You now assemble all the products you've already gotten from different suppliers together. Just like if you're cooking, all the ingredients then come together in the pot or in the bowl somewhere like that. Then we have another step called quality control. Now this is where the checking is done to see if the product requires and meets the required standard, like tasting your food before serving it to others. Then we have packaging and distribution phase, which is once the product is ready, you don't eat your food from the pot directly. You first dish it out in a plate. So packaging it maybe in a carton or something, making sure that it has everything required so that it can now be sent to customers or retailers. Then for knowledge translation, we have various phases as well. Translation, as we mentioned earlier, is about making scientific discoveries practical and usable in real life situations. For example, we have research and discovery. Scientists will now conduct research to bring out these ideas or technologies to life. For example, let's say researchers in a university, they can be likened to this phase, research and discovery. A student at the university now discovers a new type of material that can store more energy than batteries and stuff. Then another phase in the knowledge translation is development and application. The knowledge discovered is then developed into a practical application. Engineers and designers figure out how to use the material in real life products. Is going back to the battery example, we can say after developing the battery, you're now looking at the use. It can last, let's say it can last longer or charge faster than the batteries that are existing previously. Then we have the testing and optimization phase, the where the new application is tested and refined to ensure it works effectively and that it is safe for the public. Like when the battery is now tested to see if it performs well in different conditions. Let's say for countries where they have cold weather, for countries where they have hot weather, just testing it out. Then the last phase for the knowledge translation is the implementation and adoption, that is integrating this new technology into products that people can use, like using the batteries for phones or other equipment. Now, going to commercialization, we've already said it's the process of bringing new products to the market. Phases under it are market research. Here, we need to understand the needs and preferences of potential customers. For example, you can do research to find out if people in a particular country like a particular feature in a phone. And if you want to design yours, you can add that feature as well as others to it. We also have the product development phase, that is refining the products to meet market demands and making it appealing to customers. Let's say, based on feedback from your country or the place you're targeting to sell, you discover that people they like a larger screen. Phones before were not as large as the current ones. Discover that okay, well, people now like phones with larger screen or phones with a number of cameras. Like the iPhone now, you see two, three, four cameras. So discovering this, then when you're producing the next batch or model, you now increase the camera number or now increase your screen size. And we also have branding and marketing, creating a brand identity and marketing strategies to promote the product. For example, some people look for influencers who can help their brand. The influencer might not be doing anything related to whatever you're producing. If you're producing phones, you look for an influencer, maybe in your country or of the world, to help you market it. So it would catch more attention that way. We also have the sales and distribution under commercialization, which is launching the product and making it available for purchase. Then, let's say the phone is now released in stores, online, and you promote it. Let's say a discount, like 10% discount, so that customers can buy. Then the last phase for commercialization is customer feedback and improvement. Now, if you notice on online platforms, after purchasing a product, you they'll tell you something like review. So those reviews are done after the product is already bought. So when let's say you buy, let's still use the phone example. After getting a phone, we can give you a pop-up maybe a week later, tell us how the phone is the battery okay, this, that. So that is customer feedback and improvement. Now, based on the reviews you get, we now improve the next model that your company wants to create. Some real world case studies we have the iPhone, as I mentioned before. So we can say the manufacturing stage is where the iPhone is produced through a long process involving multiple stages and suppliers, collecting raw materials like the screen, the batteries, different things. Then the knowledge translation phase for the iPhone are using innovations like face identification and then their advanced camera, which maybe based on their research has shown them that people like that sharp camera or a larger screen. If you notice, the iPhone 6 or 7 is not the same size as the iPhone 14. So maybe based on their research, they discovered that people like phones with a larger screen and they increased the screen size. Then commercialization phase for the Apple and the iPhone. The iPhones are advertised with, let's say, big, this kind of big vibes. Like they look for people who have influence in the world to use it. When acting films, you notice even the ringtone is different, just something that makes them stand out. And now we know the impact of the phone for us. It's still the communication, and then we can entertain ourselves, snap pictures, all the best. So now in production or manufacturing, there are also challenges. In manufacturing stage, with the quality control, a challenge might be ensuring that every product meets high standards. Because, for example, a company as big as Apple wants to produce for millions or billions of people. It can be difficult to maintain the standards you started with when you were producing for a smaller scale of people. So that's one major challenge with manufacturing. Another one is supply chain issues. Getting your sourcing materials and components from different parts of the world. You might face delays or cost of things might increase rapidly and maybe you just have to change the price of your products. Then we also have adaptation to new technologies. In case something new comes out, you should be willing to adapt because it's a big challenge for companies to adapt to new technologies. For example, today, some organizations are still finding it difficult to integrate AI into their system. The solution to these challenges for manufacturing is investing in better quality control measures, then diversifying suppliers, not having only one source of where you're getting your raw materials from, and then gradually integrating new technologies to mitigate these challenges. For example, you can organize sessions for your employees to network and learn about these new technologies so that they can just come as something too weird or something as a shock to them. Then knowledge translation also has its challenges. One, bridging the gap between research and application. It leads to the research, people like to turn it into practical products. So we need to learn how to do that. Turn theoretical research into practical products. Another challenge in knowledge translation is funding and resources. Developing new applications from scientific discoveries often requires significant investment, a very large amount of money, and you might not have the required money you need to build your idea, and it might make you feel sad or just make you forget about the idea totally. Then another challenge is market readiness. Sometimes the market is not ready for new technology and adoption will be very slow. So this can be discouraging as well. Now, what should you do? You can collaborate with researchers and industry for bridging the gap. Then for funding and resources, you can secure funding through grants or get investors to put money in your project. Then for market readiness, you can create educational campaigns to prepare the market for your product. The commercialization challenge might be competition. You are not the only one in the market who wants to sell that product with that exact features. Even if you start first, new products might come out and establish more than you. And another thing is consumer acceptance. Trying to convince customers to try and adopt a new product can be challenging because they might already be used to what they use in the past. We also have regulatory hurdles, that is navigating the regulatory environment to get products approved. This can take time. Let's say government doesn't want to adapt to a particular new technology. It can be very, very annoying. Now, what should you do? You should conduct thorough market research and build strong marketing strategies. And then try to work with the regulatory bodies so that you can ease these processes. Try to get the government to like your product as well. So that's what we have for today. I don't know if there are any questions.
Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Priska, for that insightful presentation about manufacturing. That was indeed a deep research and a very comprehensive presentation. I like when you say mathematics is the language of science, technology, and engineering. Wow. I think that is just a gift. It's just that is so big, and I think we've learned something there because science, I think what you say is that science uses mathematics, technology uses mathematics, and engineering uses mathematics. Wow. And thank you so much also for telling us more about the manufacturing stage and the significance and also the challenges. And as we have heard, talking about the infrastructure, finance issues, regulation issues. So imagine STEM innovation being facing reluctance from regulatory bodies. Now we are here as Actuate Nation trying to utilize blockchain to enhance this. I don't know how it will go, but I know we are so faithful and we don't fear nothing. And I think we will achieve our mission in transforming Africa in terms of innovation, science and technology innovation. Because sure, manufacturing is something, regulatory issues are always there. But now I'm just wondering, now we're trying to utilize Satoshi to enhance science and tech innovation, which by default faces regulatory issues. Now we are using a tool. How about now the Satoshi, which is trying to enhance it? I think it's a very tough journey, but again, very, very, we are so optimistic that will set Africa innovation. Um, uh, we will enhance Africa innovation in terms of science and technology. So thank you so much, Ms. Priska. And let me now invite Doc, our CEO, Dr. Machari, a few comments and remarks. Doc, you're welcome.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me? Tell me.
Sure, we can hear you,
okay.
Doc.
Am I audible? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Priska. When I saw the name Priska, I was surprised because I only one Priska in this world. That Priska is my mother. And my mother is called Priska Kagore. Then when the screen reader was reading for me, said Priska Kagore. So I'm asking, did Augustine get to ask my mother to teach manufacturing? And I said, oh, sure, Augustine. My mother knows manufacturing because she brought us up and she was doing all manufacturing there in the village, manufacturing things on the farm. But basically, thank you so much, Priska. So, and I'm very happy. Now you see, you remind me of my mom also. But you bring manufacturing to another level where I wasn't before with the first Priska I know. So I'll be saying this is the second Priska. So manufacturing, as you say to us, mathematics is the queen of engineering and technology. Well, that's what we learn. Mathematics is the queen of engineering and technology. And engineering and technology is the queen of science. So there are two queens. I think mathematics then, if she's the queen of all those things, she has an empress. Yeah. Also, mathematics is at the heart of everything, foundation. In fact, mathematics is at the base, foundation of all the things we do, including information science, information technology, is mathematics. And so that's why we love this project very much. Because without mathematics, we wouldn't even have Google or Microsoft. We wouldn't even have the medicines that we have in the hospital. It all comes from mathematics, calculations, algorithms, and calculus, and all that stuff. So it's mathematics. So this translation science is taking mathematics out of academia into the hands of people. Translation. But then when it's going through there, it has to come through science, then through engineering and technology into products. And that process involves what you call manufacturing. As we said a few weeks ago, manufacturing means the use of your hands. Manufacturing. Manu, because the word manu means hand, like manual in the old language. I think that's Latin manual. So manufacturing is using your hand to do what? To descend the knowledge in your consciousness. So it's your consciousness descending to your hands so that now you can use those hands to make things, to manufacture things. That is the holiest process. It's extremely holy because it means that you can descend your knowledge from above to come below. That's called a descent, to become now physical things so they can become manifest. Now that work requires a lot of planning. As you have heard, you need raw materials. First of all, that you have to assemble those raw materials. You have to think about raw materials. When you're thinking about manufacturing something, you have to think about different products, raw materials. Different raw materials that you're going to assemble together, you connect them. By the way, these raw materials are already there. They have existed ever since when? Ever since the creation of the world. So these raw materials are there. That's why you're told, take dominion. Take dominion of the materials that we have created. Take dominion of those things that are created over the 6th day of creation. So these are the things that have already been created. There's nothing new. This is what I want to tell you. Because all these things that you see, new things being made, they have nothing new in them. It's just an assembly of the already existing material. That's one thing I would like all the people in Actuate Nation to understand. The things that are made, they are not made of anything new, including the iPhone. So all those things that you see there, they are made of things that already exist. What does that mean? That you have within your reach, your own reach as an individual, wherever you are, access to all the materials that you need to create the new things that you're thinking about, the new things that you hope to create. But what is this new thing that you want to create? You want to create new thing, something new that is going to solve a fundamental problem. You see, become a solution, a solution to a fundamental pain among people. Say, for instance, when Steve Jobs was making the iPhone, he saw the fundamental problem is that people are not communicating well efficiently using the old telephone. They cannot even send an email without old telephone, okay? They cannot even surf the web. They can't even take a picture with themselves. They cannot take a selfie to send to their friends. They cannot even go to the Facebook. They can't even send text messages. See that? And why was Steve Jobs concerned about those things? He says, yeah, because those things are different ways of communication. So he's not actually solving any problem because people did not come to Steve Jobs and say, oh, we have a problem taking pictures with our phone. No, it was not a problem. So when you come into this state of mind, you're not actually solving a problem. What you're creating, what you're finding is an opportunity to serve people in a different way. And when you want to serve people in a different way, the materials that you need are already there. They already always exist. All you have to do is reassemble them in different ways. That ways of assembling them in different ways what's called manufacture. But it's not an easy process as that, because it means that you have a whole bunch of dots, but these dots are not connecting with each other. But to connect those dots, you need to have a formula for connecting them, and you're connecting the dots to do what? What is hard is that the way these dots connect with one another is not visible with eyes, with the human eyes. You can't see. It's kind of hidden in plain sight. It's already there. That the iPhone, before the iPhone was made, it was already visible. And that thing that is visible without being physically present, it's not seen, but it's visible by internal vision. That internal vision is what's called spirit. You can see people go to manufacturing new things, they can see what they want to assemble in their spirit. Or let's say their imagination, that's what it's also called. And some people call them dreamers. They're not actually dreaming, because you dream at night. This you could say a daydream, dreaming during the day. I think is the greatest thing that they can imagine, and that's what everybody has got, that potential. It's actually built in. You have the potential, and you already know what you want to do, but then you have an idea what materials that you can put together. But when you come to thinking about how do I put all this together, that's where we give up. How do you manufacture that thing? That thing that you see inside is called a vision. So to bring a vision to the reality, you need to take it through something called creative process.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. Creative process. Creative process is the process that helps you to create a product or to manufacture a product. It has to descend from your higher consciousness into the physical world. That process is very difficult. You know why? Because there are three ways people deal with the creative. That's called a creative tension. So the distance between, the gap between what you would like to create, yeah, in what is happening today, the current reality, that distance between your vision and the current reality is known as creative tension. There's a lot of tension between that. And that tension comes from your mind. Your mind could convince you that this thing is impossible. And so you abandon the vision. You can abandon the vision, say altogether, that kind of thing is a lot of nonsense, I can't do it. Or your mind could tell you that this thing could work together if it was less. So you kind of try to manipulate your vision. Your mind manipulates your vision so that you can lower the vision. That's the second way of dealing with the vision, the creative process, that creative tension. So the creative tension can convince you that, and this is your mind creating tension in you, telling you that you cannot do it. So you try to lower the vision. And for most people, you could say, majority of the people, you could say about 70% of the people abandon their vision. They forget completely. They say, okay, forget it. I just need to get, a 9-to-5 job. I get employed by someone else. I'm not going to be doing these things. Or for those people, about maybe 20% of people, it's about 30% of the people are going to lower their vision. Instead of going full throttle to exercise your vision, to implement your vision, because it's very hard and sounds very expensive, almost very difficult, they lose faith and they lower the vision. So they bring the vision to maybe 20 degrees to 20 degrees level, and you say that is achievable. You see, try to do what is doable. It doesn't mean the big vision is not doable itself. It is that the vision itself looks so huge, like a mountain. Then you want to convert it into a small hill, which you can just climb one day and go home. You see, that's another way of dealing with the creative tension. So, but the third way of creating tension is going all the way to the vision, losing all that thing, letting your mind go, silencing your mind, say, be still. You see, keep quiet. Stop advising me that I can't do this. And you see, when your mind is advising you that, you have a lot of other people out there telling you that what you're doing is not doable. And so if you now get over that thing, if you get over your mind, get over yourself, and you go to the process of creating, you now have to figure out, how do I assemble these raw materials? The manufacturing process, which requires you to have you create a factory or a workshop, a small factory. The word factory sounds very sophisticated. A factory is like a kitchen, a kitchen where you cook food. Imagine you want to make dinner, you want to make food, and what do? You get raw materials. You go to the farm. You bring your potatoes, you bring your onions, you bring your cabbage, you bring your sukuma wiki, and then you start assembling them. You have the recipe. The recipe is the protocol that you're going to follow to assemble your ingredients in your workshop. So these are the raw materials. You put raw material one, for all of you, I believe that all of you have partaken into the process of cooking. So for example, if you're making ugali, for those guys in West Africa, ugali is called a maize cake. You have to made with boiled water, and you put flour, you put maize flour. You have to wait for the water to boil first. So you cannot put flour in water that has not reached the boiling point. Otherwise, you're never going to make that ugali. You're never going to make that maize cake. So there's these kind of things, you know them because you do them all the time. So if you want to cook something, and of course there's a question like, when you're making a cup of tea, what do you do first? Do you boil the water first, and then you put the tea leaves, or do you put the tea leaves after the water is boiled? See, which one tastes better? So this thing, depending on at which point you put the tea leaves, the eventual product is going to taste differently. That is what's called assembly. So assembly is a sophisticated word for the recipe. Mhm. So when you have a recipe, you know what goes on first, what's going on second, and so when you know that, and you see this applies to all processes of manufacturing, like cooking. So you know what goes on in which ingredient comes first, but you want to write that down, put them down in a sequence, and then you arrange them such that they'll be fixing this one, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. When you have assembled things, for example, if you decide that your manufacturing process, say you are in food processing industry, that's what's called food processing, and you want to make what kind of food? Just like say you want to produce a fruit juice, for example. Or let's say you want to make coffee, you want to make tea for people to drink. Let's follow up with the example of tea. Depending on when you put your tea leaves, whether you put the tea leaves before the water boils or after the water boil, your tea is going to be tasting different. Mhm. So you can assemble that tea, and of course, you may be cooking the tea in a large pot, and then after you cook it in a large pot, then you want to put it in a container. Whether you want to put a metal tin, a tin container, or you want to put it in a plastic container, so that now you can take it to the supermarket after putting a label. All that process is you have to put a label, and then you put it. And if you want now to sell it as iced tea, cold tea, you now put it in a cold bucket of cold ice buckets, so that now you can now take it to the shop and sell it. You see, you want to think about manufacturing not from very sophisticated level, but the things you do every day. And that's what for science, you see, it comes from the basics, like let's say food processing, because this is a lot of things that you do. I'm thinking that, particularly in Africa, there's a lot of products we can manufacture. Let's start with the coconut. Coconut fruit, coconut. I think people use a lot of things with coconut oil. Coconut oil can be used for cooking. Coconut oil can be used it's a beauty product. I think for women, I don't know how they use the coconut oil with their hair. It can also be used for skin toning. Yeah, it's just oil for applying the skin, and sometimes and can be used to make soap. So you see, you can start with something like coconut, something like that. And I can tell you, a lot of women in the coastal areas know how to make products out of just coconut, but they have not considered that as a manufacturing process. So what we are talking about is for those people who are in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is to go back to the villages and help such local women who are working with a product like coconut to help manufacture about 18 different products from the coconut itself. For Nigeria, in the south region in Nigeria, this is called palm oil. Palm oil has got about 31 different products that people in the villages try to extract from the palm oil. And so you can see everywhere in the communities, people are trying to do things to manufacture products, but it is not informed by the scientific knowledge, the process of manufacturing. As I went there towards the coastal province in Kenya, I think in the Taita Taveta, there's a lot of sisal plants. So sisal can be used to make a lot of good stuff. But sisal has got sisal fiber that can, if you have, so local people are struggling there with the sisal, but I'm sure there are some people at the College of Agriculture and Technology who can help those people make very good things with sisal. Not only can sisal be used to make fabric, in long time ago they used to have burlap sacks of sisal, made of sisal. Then we had sisal fabric. People used to make sisal. fabric material for clothing, and then eventually they make sizes for upholstery for vehicles. Yeah, imagine, you know, this upholstery that find these beautiful cars and they have inside, they have size of fiber inside. So if you go into a deal with a car manufacturer, then you'll be able to generate, to grow size of, and then assemble it for selling to car manufacturers. So, but how do you get to that point? So I think in our colleges everywhere in Africa, in this, and even polytechnics, technical schools, they are learning all these technical ways of handling raw material to manufacture product. So manufacturing is not really that sophisticated. It's not so complicated. It's just a decision to assemble things and find market for them. But then I think the problem comes when you start wondering, where am I going to get the money to source the raw materials? That's the stage one. How do you raise the money? And that's been very difficult for anyone to start a manufacturing process. You know, it consumes a lot of money. In fact, to build up a manufacturing plant, let's say your kitchen for cooking, that's capital investment, which is gonna have the physical structure itself. And you may need some machines to do that. You know, to combine the two things you're talking about, to do the assembly. So you need a machine to combine them. So you need a machine. Where do you get that money? So these are called capital investments. Remember, when you buy a machine and you build a house, that money does not come in your pocket. It doesn't come back until you sell the product that you have manufactured. So that investment is just a promise of future revenue. But if you don't have revenue, you don't even know whether it's going to bring revenue in the next 1 year, 2 years, even 10 years. Let me tell you, the manufacturing process requires you to think in timelines of 10 years, 5 years, 10 years. Because before you start seeing that your capital investment is coming back, the original capital investment, 10 years have already passed. And so how do people raise money? It's called patient capital that's going to give them a grace period of 10 years. For example, if you buy a house, even say you're building a house, let's say a house itself, the money that you need to build a house, you cannot get it within 1 year by renting out that house. So you'd have to rent the house for many years before you can recover that money. So you can see the same thing, that you build a manufacturing plant plus the machinery for manufacturing, the money will not come back until maybe 10 years down the road. So you need to take that into consideration. How do people do it? So there are 3 mechanisms for raising money, because that's the challenge. See, that's the challenge that you have. 3 mechanisms. Mechanism number one, which is available to all of us today, particularly the blockchain, is what's called crowdfunding. Crowdfunding means that before the blockchain came out, you had people like Kickstarter, where you would promise people that when I make this product, I will sell it to you or bring it to you. But can you buy the product before it is made? So people can invest in your product. They can buy your product before you make it. For example, if you say that you will be, I mean, this happening a lot with technology things, that you're going to make one technical device. You're going to make a device and people are going to use it this way or another way. Or even you can go to food processing, like making fruit juice, whatever you can think of, even that coconut milk, coconut oil. You can tell people, and this is how crowdfunding works. Let's take the idea of coconut for beauty products. You can find people, and you tell them, after I've made this coconut product, remember you had done a prototype before and then you have shown them. A prototype is just one. and you say, I want to go and manufacture this product in large scale, but will you promise that if I make this product, you will buy it? When you say, I promise, the person says, I promise. Now, instead of just promising me, can you give me money right now so that I can go and manufacture that product and give it to you? So in crowdfunding, you can now, if you're making such beauty products and you are joined to a group of women, and they're going to use that coconut product for women, you can get women to contribute money to buy your beauty products made out of coconut before you have made it, so they can buy it in anticipation. So they're buying it ahead. That is going to give you money to go and manufacture your products. And that money, because they're going to pay it, you shall have calculated the price, including the price to buy the machinery. So you can actually fund even the machinery and the small factory for manufacturing your product before you make it. Okay? But see, that has worked well in, say, places like the United States, where people have got disposable income. That eventually, if you're not able to raise the money, they could lose it. You see, for you to come up with an idea like that in a kickstarting and to raise money that way, you had to calculate. You have to have done some calculation that what's the minimum amount of money you must raise by people buying the product ahead of time. What is the minimum amount of money you must raise in order for you to break through? That minimum amount of money you must raise is known as soft capitalization. For example, if you find that you must have at least, say, 150,000 shillings to create a manufacturing process to make that coconut beauty product, in order for it to be finished, because it's going to require you to buy the machine, do the whole installment, it's going to take you 150,000 shillings. And then you raise only 20,000 shillings by selling to people ahead of time. That's a pre-selling. Then you are not going to make it. So the best thing to do is to return that money to all the people. Tell them, listen, guys, I did not reach the soft cap, and so let us forget about this. But the only way you don't get that money is because you do not tell enough people. You have to tell enough people, so that, and you have to know, you have to have done your mathematics well to see that my soft cap is how many? 150,000 shillings. And they say, with this 150,000 shillings, I'll afford to buy the machinery. I will afford to build a small house, maybe one-room house, which I call my assembly plant. Okay. Then I'll buy the packaging material, and then I'll make sure that the thing is of good quality, and then I'll send it to you. So that's the soft cap. Now you can have another hard capitalization. Hard cap. Hard cap is a maximum amount of money beyond which it will not make any difference. So for example, if you wanted 150,000 shillings, that's the minimum amount of money you must raise in order for you to start to ensure that the product is going to get into the hands of the people. Then you have a hard cap that even if you get more money than that, say for example, you say that my hard capitalization is 1 million shillings. What you're saying that if you get more than 1 million shillings, you cannot guarantee that even if you manufacture those products, you're going to find the market to sell it, because you'll be having way too many. You have nowhere to sell. So it doesn't make sense now to get more money than you need, unless you get the money and you go and put it somewhere else. But you cannot. You don't want to raise more money to build too much of a factory too big, that you have so many machines that the market cannot meet the demand. See, that comes from you understanding the market demand for your products. And that market demand is going to be determined by the amount of marketing you have done. So if you have gone out there and you have assessed the market and you have said, I can sell only so many units, don't try to raise much more money than you can saturate the market, because if you can saturate that market, then you will be having way too much inventory and all that thing is going to be lost. And you already have raised the money from your investors, and your investors are not going to be pleased with you because it means that you took too much money than you needed. Then you might end up having ideas of going into other businesses with their money. See, that was not in the original promise. So that's why you have two things: a soft cap and hard cap. Those soft cap and hard caps are still available in the same language you have in blockchain business, because cryptocurrencies. And that's the whole idea, is to find out, first of all, to your minimum numbers needed, which calls soft cap, and then the hard cap. Today, with blockchain, it has now been possible to decentralize that process of fundraising using, say, a token like Actuate. You can allocate, you can say, I need maybe 150,000 Actuate. That's going to be my soft cap to create this factory for manufacturing this. But you would have to have calculated, where are you going to take that coconut oil? Yes, you want to have evidence. So as you're manufacturing, you're thinking, because you're creating a product that is going to serve people in a new way and make life better, easier, and more comfortable. You're creating a new product that's going to make just life much better for people. You want to have known that which people are this, and what are, and how is it, how are they going to adopt your idea? This you have actually investigated during your prototyping process, because prototyping is where you made prototypes and you did iterations of checking with people, finding out what people would like, and then you come to manufacture in a large scale. Okay. All right. So that's it. So I think that manufacturing, that word itself, because you're not so familiar with it in Africa, it can look like it's daunting process. It is not. Manufacturing is what we call cooking, just like things that you do in the kitchen. But then assembling, but packaging them, and then putting them on the shelf. When you're cooking food, you're cooking for your family or yourself. But when you're manufacturing, you're cooking for the entire market. Cooking for the entire market. So you're not cooking for just a few guys, 7, maybe 10 people, 7 people, or 2 people, one person. You are cooking for the entire market, and that's what sounds daunting. But remember, you do not have to take the entire market in the first round. So you need the immediate market. You understand where you can supply your products into maybe the first group of people, maybe one school. Like target one school, one community, it's like one Actuate nation, and get everyone to buy it. So, and then once those people have bought it, you have saturated that market, then you can go to the next market and try to saturate. But like it is said, charity begins at home. Start where you are and you move outwards progressively. But then there's a time, particularly in today's information age, a time is going to reach where your product scales, the demand for the market demand scales in an inexorable way. It's called blitz. Just like a lightning. You say, what happened? That you start getting calls, people asking for it from everywhere. What are you going to do? And you don't have the money. That's the second stage. What are you going to do for blitz scaling? Now, 2 problems. One, because you are small scale, in the beginning, you're just by yourself, you can manufacture all those things alone. So you can cook for maybe 150 people in one kitchen by yourself with large cooking pots. However, What if you got all of a sudden 1,000 people? All of a sudden can happen because there's a conversation going on in Facebook, and then people just come across your product. You're making a beauty product, and one woman in a group of women in Facebook says, okay, I'm using this beauty product, it's fantastic. Then you start getting orders that are coming from everywhere. What are you going to do? Now that's when you may have to borrow money, go to the bank, and traditional finance, people used to go, but you see, if you're a woman, the banks sometimes do not consider women to be profitable. They could refuse you access to the bank. That's why we have decentralized finance. So it will be possible now to raise money for blitz scaling. Blitz scaling is where you go from a demand of about 100 to 1,000 to 100,000 to 1,000,000 to 1,000,000,000. Okay, and that can happen in just a matter of days. How do you do it? Very hard, very hard, very hard. But I believe that now in the crypto decentralized finance, it will be possible to scale that, because blitzscaling or even the scaling itself, the biggest challenge is not just making new products, but finding the human resource, finding the people to employ so they can work the way you work to produce that product. So training people is not easy, because when people come, they have to be trained from no knowledge at all to learn your process of assembly. Because if you have made a recipe, you want to make sure that if your idea of making tea, you boil the water first and then you put the tea. And then you might have somebody who says, no, you put the tea leaves first before you boil so that they boil together. Now you see, people have got different ways of doing things. So the final product will be tasting different, but you need to train people. So when they come, they have to be trained. And you cannot assume that because they are making tea in another company or in another factory, they know how to do it. So it takes at least 6 months for people to get into the groove to know. So blitzscaling cannot happen suddenly because that human resource problem. That human resource are going to take about 6 months to learn. So, but if you suspect that your market will be rising up, the market demand will be rising to the moon. It's called a moonshot. You're going to have a moonshot in demand. Then you want to start acclimatizing people into your ecosystem as early as possible, so that you have people who you can actually tap into right away when the demand the demand grows inexorably in the very beginning. Yeah, because that's another thing. If the demand grows suddenly, then the quality of the products that will be coming out will be so bad that the market is going to hit them, and then your company collapses. So these are challenges. So this is like it's like a dance. It's like a tango dance. When the market moves, you move. You have to be careful. You have to be careful what's going on in the market. You have to be fully engaged in it, so that you can be sensing what the market is saying all the way. You're totally immersed, like 24/7. Okay, so yeah, and that's what Elon Musk keeps saying, like making company like that is like looking into their base, chewing glass. That's Elon Musk saying. Looking to their base means that you're looking at a needless pit, and that because you can't know what's happening, you're looking at their base. Chewing glass because you have to make these hard decisions all the time. It's like chewing glass, which is cutting your gums and you're eating it. I don't even know how you swallow that. That's Elon Musk maybe description of that process. But even if it's painful as it is chewing glass, it's very rewarding. Okay, yeah, but you have to be on top of it. You have to be on top of it, highly conscious. No time for looking the other way. Yeah, because no one having put his hand to the plow and is looking back is fit for the kingdom. All right, back to you, Mr. Augustine.
Thank you so much, Doc, for those comprehensive comments. Thank you so much, Doc, for those comments about manufacturing. So I would love to take this opportunity now to invite questions from participants or even comments about the topic. Yeah, you can type or you can just unmute and ask your question. So as questions come, I would love to take this opportunity to talk about the summit. As we know, we are organizing a conference, the Actuate Pre-Boston Nairobi Summit, and it will be from 3rd to 6th December 2024 this year, and it will take place at Kenyatta University, main campus, Nairobi City, Kenya. And the theme is all about using AI, blockchain technology, and decentralized finance to improve human and health development. So this summit is bringing various stakeholders together to have a conversation on how we can leverage these emerging technologies for human development and healthcare development. So this is a very good and a big platform, global scale summit for networking and even learning more about Actuate biomedicine and many more. And we are expecting attendees. So when you move to our website, I will share the website. You will see the attendee registration link. You can register as an attendee to come and get some insights about how this, what are the, how healthcare sector is, what are the gaps, and how we can leverage these technologies to enhance that and even human development. Organizations or even individuals who like to exhibit their products. So we also have a category of exhibitors. You can come and showcase your products. There is an exhibition booth preserve, and it goes at $1,000. So when you go, you visit our website also, you will see that and the link and all the details. Speakers also is another category, and so far we are really getting done with speakers. Few slots, around 10 slots remaining. We are targeting around 100 speakers, and it's coming well. Healthcare professionals, AI professionals, and all that. So a lot of work is going on background. Another category is sponsors. We are really working towards getting sponsors for this summit, and we're targeting AI big companies. We all know pharmaceuticals, because they play a great role as far as health development is concerned. Another target for sponsors is now blockchain companies, and even just technology or even telecommunication companies. There will be also poster presenters, and I think this is the best opportunity for all Actuate members who are here, all Actuate community members, to give poster presentation. And when you visit our website, also you'll interact with the guidelines and criteria for qualifying for poster presentation during the summit. And the other thing is we're expecting workshops to take place, health workshops, diabetes workshops, cancer management workshops, because you see, we're inviting biomedical professionals, medical professionals, healthcare professionals to come and speak and also conduct these workshops. So it will be a very good experience for all of us. And I'd love to emphasize about the sponsors that there's a challenge going on. Those who are new here right now, there's a sponsorship challenge which is going on, that this exercise we have roll it out to ensure that we engage our Actuate nation members, and you invite a sponsor to buy a certain package. You get 5% of 5% commission of that package that company or even individual bought. So, for instance, we are having a diamond sponsorship package, which is going at $10,000. So you invite a sponsor to buy that, you get 5% commission of that. Then the second package is platinum, which is going at $7,500. You also invite a sponsor for that package, you get 5% commission. We are having gold, which is going at $5,000. And we are having silver, which is going at $3,000. And we are having bronze, which is going at $1,000. Remember, I also said the exhibition booth is going at $1,000. So that all information and more details is in our website. And let's seize this opportunity, especially for sponsors, invitation, and empower ourselves. Actuate is here. It's a community effort program. That's why we're engaging everybody. So let's pay attention. Let's be keen on details and participate, belong and participate. And you see now, you will come free to this summit. Coming, seeing a logo of WHO, United WHO organization, or even Ethereum, or even, all other blockchain and AI. Coming and see the logo, I mean, like, it's you who invited them. That's a big thing. And its opportunities are always there. We just have to pay attention. So I need us to be very awake and see these opportunities around us. You never know what happens. Yeah, and nothing is easy. Nothing comes easy. It's all about moving outside and showing up. Yeah, as we've heard, even Doc is saying, Elon Musk, even that successful person like that, understand that nothing is easy. You just have to sacrifice. You just have to take some risks for you to reap now the good fruits. So let's seize this opportunity, reach out, engage, ask questions, and everything will be well. And so those are the things I've said. I've talked about the stakeholders, AI communities, blockchain communities, decentralized organizations, health organizations, research institutions, businesses, government agencies, all of them, all those who are very passionate about health and even human development are invited. So just move outside, see, engage, spread this word. Yeah. And I would love to say, Miss Priska, I hope you have heard about this. We need actually this message to, reach Ghana, Nigeria, Maybe you can just react on how you feel about this, and maybe how we can work together to maybe especially speakers and sponsors. So Miss Priska, I hope you're hearing me, and you've understood everything about the summit. And I think we will talk more about that, and I'm hoping, because I know you are so passionate about AI. I am your student on LinkedIn about robotics, blockchain. Every day I get articles about from you. That is so much helping, and I think we can do something. We can do something in West Africa. We can have a lot of people. I know there are so many startups, so many big companies, and I think something good can happen. So yeah, so I don't know, keep your questions coming. And at this juncture now, I would love to say that this is Actuate STEM knowledge translation and commercialization learn to earn session. Learn to earn means that you earn some Actuate tokens because you participated in this learning session. Yeah. So now I'm sharing the Google Form document, and you just fill it, and after filling it, you're just free to leave. Yeah. And I think, Barbara, if you can hear me, you can share the link, the Google Form for Actuate community membership. It's so crucial, one of the qualifications for you to get these tokens. So let's ensure we pay attention to that also. So I think now the meeting is adjourned. Maybe Doc, if you have something more.
Hello. Do you hear me? Okay. Hello. Am I coming through? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Augustine. Thank you, Priska. Priska, welcome to East Africa. I know you're in West Africa, and we would like to meet with you in Nairobi. Welcome to the summit already, and you come and make some presentations there about your work. What's going? Yeah, and then of course, the presentation you made today, send it to us so we can print it in our newsletter, Scott Wayabi, on LinkedIn, and also you had it in PowerPoint format, I imagine. Would you like it in Word documents, Microsoft Word documents, text document, to send to present it to publish in Wayabi? Thank you so much, and I think we have learned so much about manufacturing. And I think that yes, we keep encouraging one another, because I know there's a lot of knowledge about things we can manufacture in our colleges in Africa. For example, in Kenya, I went to Jomo Kenyatta University. I was surprised by so many things that people know how they can manufacture, but they don't manufacture them. So what is stopping that process from taking place? And always people will say, talk about money. It's not money that is lacking. To tell you the truth, it's not the money that's lacking. What is lacking is imagining where the money will come from. Because if you can imagine it, you can have it. If you believe it, but you have to believe that you will make it, and then you make it. Because we are told when you believe, you receive. Because only those who believe receive. If you can't believe, then you cannot believe, you cannot receive. And that's why we want to create a tradition of people believing in themselves. And don't listen to all those naysayers, negative people say you can't do it, it's never been done. Yeah, it's never been done because they didn't do it. But what you're saying, you can do it. They tell you it's never been seen before. It's not been seen before in the world, but it has been seen in your consciousness. What has been seen in your consciousness is called your vision. That vision is there in you. If somebody tells you they have never seen it, tell them you cannot, you have to forgive them because that thing is not visible in the world. It's visible in you because the one in you can see it. That one in you, we keep saying, the one in you who can see all those things is greater than the one who is in the world, far greater. And that is the one who can see it. If someone told you this thing has never been seen anywhere or even heard of anywhere. So we're not looking for something that has been seen or heard of or even been touched. We are looking for something that is in your consciousness, in your imagination, in you, but you want to bring it out and manufacture it to the people so we can improve human life. Let me tell you a story about Nigeria. I came to Nigeria and I went to Akwa Ibom, all the way down in the south state. Then I went into the palm forest. I found people create big bonfires there and they are cooking palm fruit. I said, why are you cooking the palm fruit? To extract palm oil. I was really stunned. Women in the village, they have made a process, a factory. In Kenya, we'd call that a juakali factory in the forests by themselves. And they boil the palm fruit until it generates oil. Yeah, I say, when you make this oil, where do you sell it? You know, they are doing this in a very traditional way without any technical, knowledge. You can see there's no academic technical knowledge from the university. And yet, in the university, in Nigeria, you have so many big agricultural universities. Why are we letting our mothers do that? Go out in the forest and boil with open fire. They make open fire and they put big pots when they are boiling. They're boiling, what's it called? Palm seeds. I think they're palm seeds. And the story is heartbreaking. Because this is something that's very simple with one engineering student from that university, maybe University of Lagos College of Engineering, can come down there and help them to create a process, even a big boiling, a drum, which is for boiling this. I'm sure even so using solar energy. So they have to light a fire. They have to put it on stones, the whole thing drum, and then they're boiling it manually, and then they're tapping oil. Yeah. And then we have engineers in African continent trained 4-year degrees, even PhDs. So the distance between those are the children they have sent school. They leave their mothers in the villages to boil palm seeds with huge pots on huge fire flames. And see how much money they make out of that. Then when they sell, they boil that, what do they do with the palm oil? Well, that process is not just in Nigeria, it's everywhere, even in Kenya, as we're talking about coconuts. And so we are not, so let's say our parents spend a lot of money paying school fees, sending us to get education. That education never returns to the village. Where does it go? It evaporates. It's almost as if there is something out there just sucking it out, drinking it. Yeah, that thing that drinks the knowledge of our people, which is known as brain drain, brain flights, that flight of knowledge is known as the Moloch. You know Moloch? Yeah, spirit of Moloch. That is sacrificing of the brain of our children. So what we are saying, let us stop this sacrifice of the brains of our children so that the mothers in the villages, they don't have to live like we are in the Stone Age. They have to boil coconut seeds. They have to boil palm seeds to generate oil, where we can now create nice manufacturing process to extract that palm oil. By the way, palm oil, as I told you, comes from palmitic acid. Palm oil has got about 67 different products that you can make out of it. Yeah. That's 67 different products. Ranging from soap for bathing soap to beauty products to hair products to medicinal things, medicinal products to baking products, cooking products, everything, including manufacturing products. Yeah, even for oil, even for engineering products in driving machinery. So, first of all, that brings us to the last thing I will tell you. The British Petroleum, which set foot in Niger Delta in 1959 to extract petroleum. That British company was not there to extract petroleum before 1959. What it was doing, it was extracting palm oil. Okay, so when I think the British came around there and they found so many palm trees they could not believe. Yeah, because they needed palm oil to drive their ship as a shipping fuel for ocean liners. They needed that to do all those journeys they make through the Indian Ocean to Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, all the way to the Eastern Bloc, to the Far East. They relied upon the palm oil out of the Niger Delta. This is for the European shipping merchants. Before that, before they could discover palm oil, they used whale oil. These large shipping companies like Shell. Shell is called Shell because it's a shell from ocean shellfish. So this is Shell oil. Shell was not petroleum. Shell was they used fish oil, let's say ocean shellfishes, to create oil for running ships. And then the next thing after for energy for driving ships, the next thing they discovered was palm. From where? From Niger Delta. And they extracted that Niger Delta oil for several, I think, hundreds of years before they struck petroleum in Port Harcourt. And then you know the rest of the story. So Port Harcourt is one of the largest oil producers in the world. And you have 5 companies. Now they abandoned, let me tell you now, because they struck oil in Port Harcourt, they abandoned, I'm talking about the energy companies, petrol companies, British Petroleum, then Total, and the Shell companies. They abandoned the palm oil, and palm oil was just left wild. But local people use palm oil for a lot of things, even cooking and making beauty products, but with just local manufacturing process, like cooking it in large drums with open fire in the forests. In a place which has got a lot of money from petroleum. Now, because there's also a lot of petroleum from shale oil, but there's so much intense poverty that you can't believe people in the forest. So I think it's our turn, talking about Gen Z. Gen Z. This is call to action. Go into the communities and take all that knowledge that you have gathered from the universities and make these manufacturing processes. It's time to kick out those guys came there. They have been there for hundreds of years. And of course, they just take the material resources and they don't care about the local people. That's my experience, the Niger Delta. Yeah. But see, the Niger Delta is not alone. We are the same way over there in East Africa. And yeah, let me stop talking about it, but then perhaps maybe you guys have questions about these issues. All right, any questions, comments? Philosophy? Yeah,
Thank you so
go ahead.
much for that. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And we are so much grateful always for making time for us, the Actuate Nation family, and guide us more on this journey. Thank you so much, Doc. So I think there's no any question, and yeah, so just a comment from Salome. She says, through manufacturing, we can be able to go far in our today, in our today in business, in our today's business. Okay, thank you so much, Salome, for that. We appreciate. So I think that is it for today, this week session, and we meet again next Friday, same time, same venue. Now to discuss more now distribution on how now the manufactured products can now reach the consumer. So thank you so much. We appreciate you, and until next time, bye.
Thanks, Augustine. One final thing I'll tell all the Gen Zs in this group, because there's so many people in this generation, you have made remarkable achievements. Last week, with the reject finance bill and all that, you've seen that movement. That movement is that totally unprecedented on the political side. Is now what we want to bring on the manufacturing side. Okay, and as I'm saying, the whole thing with that finance bill, although for those guys in Kenya, they know what's going on. The Kenyan finance bill is not even written by the Kenyan government, people at the Kenyan government. That finance bill comes from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. But then they impose it upon the president and tell the president, you make this bill pass by taking it to your parliament and tell those parliament to vote for it. So basically the parliaments just pass through entities. They are not real people, they are like a hollow. Even our president, like a hollow thing. It's not there. You see? So that we can retain that, you see, that dominance. See, we are dominated from the political side. So they can collect money from our people. And this is the same thing as I just explained about what's going on in the Niger Delta. What they have been doing since hundreds of years. I mean, they, them, that's the European Union, people like that. They just want to continue taking resources. And what we are seeing in J&Z of Kenya is saying no to that process. Enough is enough. Okay? And there's no stronger way of saying enough is enough than us discovering how to take total control, for total freedom of manufacturing our own products. Because as I'm saying, what was totally disturbing, particularly in Niger Delta, is to see what has happened to palm. Palm itself, the palm fruit, palm seed has so many uses. It's actually it's used bypass the use of petroleum. But just because there's also petroleum there, palm was destroyed. Not by the local people, but by these foreigners coming to extract petroleum. And as they're extracting petroleum, they kill as many people as you can imagine. And then they kill people when they're doing that. But they don't just kill people, they kill even other animals, and every living human being, because as they're extracting oil, they carelessly pour that oil into the environment, destroying the environment. They don't care about what's there. Yeah. So there's a lot of pollution, even pollution of the soil itself, the vegetation itself, even the air that you get acid rain. Because as they're extracting the oil, they're also burning the natural gas in the air, just burning it. So there's a flame that is continuous flame. I was really stunned at a place called Actuate. They have the most stunning beaches over there. You see a white beach, like what you have beaches in Mombasa on the coast. The difference between the beach in Mombasa is that in Mombasa there's tourism. In the south coast, north coast, you see tourist level hotels. Not in Actuate. In Actuate, you have large tankers driving on the beach. So the beach is actually like the road. You can't go there and have a beach. It's a place that you would have the most beautiful beach resort, but instead of a beach resort, becomes the roadway for these large tankers coming to collect petroleum. Yeah, that is really crazy. And so the beach is uninhabitable. And the beach has got oil spillage such that instead of looking like pristine white sand, now the beach is contaminated with petroleum, petroleum byproducts, crude oil. So that is the kind of nastiness that we get from these guys. Who does that? Who allows that people to happen there? Is the IMF, the same one that is pushing down that finance bill to Kenyans. So, and I think it's saying Kenyans resist finance bill. And then we have to resist even this international colonization manufacturing process so that we can take control of our own manufacturing. Manufacturing is not a complicated process. It's just mystified to make it look mysterious, as if it's this mysterious thing we can't do because, yeah. Then women are there in the villages trying to cook palm, trying to create, to cook coconut, when in fact manufacturing is just a simple process. And our own educated children who go to universities, they are taught to believe that manufacturing is extremely difficult. You can't do it because it's done somewhere else. Yeah. So all those students in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, technical colleges get up and go to the villages and help your mothers and brothers and sisters manufacture the products on the ground. And you find there's a lot of money. Let's work together and figure out how to finance that. That is what decentralized finance is all about. So we're going to call it decentralized manufacturing. Okay. Decentralized manufacturing, or DMANIF. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We can speak about this for the whole night, but I don't want to keep it the whole night. But thank you. Really welcome. Appreciate you guys coming, and let's think deep about what's going on and how we can activate, let's say, actuate the spirit of manufacturing, because that spirit lives. That spirit lives. We just need to actuate it. All right. Okay. Have a good one.
Okay, Doc. Thank you so much. And before so Doc, currently, there is a meeting on Twitter, a conversation going on about what is the way forward as we remember our fallen heroes. And Mr. Vincent is speaking. Vincent is suggesting for all Gen Zs to come together and look for a way of coming up with a decentralized governance system. They don't care how it will go, but he's urging Gen Z to think about that and coming together to build this thing, decentralizing everything. So the conversation is going. I just shared the link to the session.
Oh. That's
that is so much
because decentralized governance is already decentralized governance is already here. It's known as a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. And with a DAO, which is what Actuate is all about, is creating something called bicameral governance structure. So I'm so excited about that. So Kenya is going to be on the blockchain.
Yeah. Talking
Kenya
about smart contracts.
Kenya is a smart contract, not this contract for stupid people. Smart contract, amazing. Kudos, Kenyans. You've made it. Can you believe that Kenya is going to be on the blockchain?
Yeah,
That's
sure. He's saying he is around 54 and he's so much tired about all these things. Now it's the time.
Kenya on the blockchain. That's what's about.
Yeah.
So what it means, this thing just aligns with what we are doing. Totally, 100%. So I don't know how I can be allowed to speak there, but I would tell them that's what we need. We're already doing it in Actuate Nation. So they can join
Yeah.
us. And they need to mint a new token. So Kenya shilling in token format. It's called it's be called just like we have USDT, it's called Kenyan token. And then we'll be having another token, which is the non-fungible token, a soul-bound token for attestation token to say you're a Kenyan for voting. That's what it is. So they're looking for decentralized governance that happens on the blockchain. That will be the first country in the world to be on the blockchain. Fascinating stuff. Yeah.
Sure, Doc. Yeah.
So
Let's
now
catch up
we need to
the
invite them to the
conversation.
summit to come and we explore more that idea.
Absolutely. Sure.
I mean, by the end of this year, the World Bank will have to shut down. It's not just route of going. You know why? Because of this awareness. Because Kenya is getting away. You see, this is what IMF has been doing for the longest time. So IMF, World Bank need to go out of business so it can stop killing people. Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk. You have a good evening.
Okay, Doc.
Great
Bye-bye.
idea. Kenya's on blockchain. Yes.
Yeah.
Now you send that thing to WhatsApp. Send me that link to the WhatsApp group. Okay. To my WhatsApp. Augustine.
All right, Doc.